y'all about hives. The medical term for hives is urticaria. Now, how many of y'all know what to do whenever someone has hives? Of course, all of y'all know because you're my family and you know that I have hives. Now, when I was 12 years old, as all of y'all know, I started having hives for the first time, and the first time actually put me in the hospital, and I went into anaphylactic shock, which I'll explain later. And then also, I went to the doctor, and they told me that they could never pinpoint it, so it drove me completely insane. So I started looking it up for myself so I could find out what was wrong with me. I basically self-diagnosed myself. Now, there are 3 different types I'm going to talk about today, and what I'm going to explain to you about them is, of course, the 3 types, how they occur, and how they should be treated. Now, the 3 types are cold urticaria, papular urticaria, and cholinergic. I'm going to explain all 3 of those to y'all. Now, the first, actually, before I say that, this information is very valuable, and everyone should know it because it's life-threatening, as all of y'all know already. Now, the first one I'm going to talk about is the cold urticaria. Now, Cigna.com says that it is the most common form of hives, and, well, what causes it is cold things. For example, when I get drinks from places, I have to get them in styrofoam because the cold, the coldness from it can make my hands swell and I can break out in hives. So I always use styrofoam, that's just an example. Now, the triggers, as I said, are anything cold. Cold weather, cold food, anything. Probably sucked to live up north, wouldn't it, for those type of people. Now, one of the signs, as I said, was swelling, which is called angioedema, which all of y'all have seen that. My feet swell horribly and I can't walk for the next day or so. Now, the treatments for it, first off, never scratch your hives, because if you scratch them, they'll get worse and then it gets bad. Another thing you can do is you can take an antihistamine, like Benadryl or Claritin, and also you can use an EpiPen. Epi stands for epinephrine. It's basically a shot of adrenaline, and it helps your body get rid of the hives and the swelling. Now, the second one I'm going to talk to you about is papular urticaria. Now, WebMD says that it's probably one of the second most common. I have that as well. Now, what causes papular urticaria is insect bites and food and certain medications. For example, whenever I get bit by mosquitoes or ants, sometimes they'll be so bad that I might actually get hives from them because I'm allergic to them. Another thing is, as I said, food. What's the most common form of food allergies? Peanut butter, peanuts. Most common form. Another form that I actually used to have, this is Chef through RD, is tomatoes. I was allergic to tomatoes, and that's one of the things that put me in the hospital. Now, as I said, those are the triggers. Foods, bug bites, or bee stings is most common. And medication. Most people that you hear nowadays, one of the top medicines that they're allergic to is usually either penicillin or sulfa. Those are the top 2. And as I said, the treatments for it are the same as all the other ones. You can take a shot of epinephrine. Only use that if you have to, though. You can also use Benadryl or singular, any antihistamine. And don't scratch. Another thing you can do just to soothe is take like a warm oatmeal bath, but not a hot one, just like a lukewarm one. And the third type I'm going to talk to you about is cholinergic. Cholinergic, Medscape says, which is a form of WebMD, says that it's not very common. And I have it. Go figure. Well, these, you don't even have to have contact with anything. It's more along the lines of probably one of the most random forms of urticaria that someone can have. What causes it is excessive exercise and stress. Now, I've had them to apologize, is actually the second time I went to the ER for anaphylactic shock. Now, these give you no warning whatsoever. Oh, and another form is heat, which I can get really, really hot and I'll break out in hives. Same thing with cold. I'm pretty messed up both ways. But with doing that, another form, just like the cold and the papular, you can get angioedema, which is the swelling throughout the body. It's usually around the lips for like the foods and things, and then if it's cold or heat, usually it attacks your butt and your feet are usually the first two, or your sides. The stress is usually my sides. And as I said, the treatments, you can do anything, like I said, you can do antihistamines, EpiPen, warm oatmeal bath, any of the following. Now, to sum it up, urticaria is something you should not ignore. It's very dangerous, and someone should always know what they are, what triggers them, and how to deal with them, which I explained to you. Be careful with what foods you eat. They can get you. Stress can cause them, and apparently it's unsafe to live in certain parts of the world because it's cold or it's really, really hot. Now, I'm giving this speech today because I didn't want any of you or someone you know to have a reaction, like a bad allergic reaction, and not know what to do. So that's why I'm here. Thank you.